So this is the next question that we have with us. It's given that we have to calculate 10 to the power 25 minus 560 is divisible by which of the following numbers. So it's a multiple choice question, and we have to tell 10 to the power 25 minus 560 is divisible by which all of these numbers, right? So if you know do 10 to the power 25, then you subtract 560, so that will get really complex. So that is not a practical way to solve the question, especially in the exam, right? So in all of these questions, whenever there is such a huge power, you always have to look for some kind of patterns. You'll always find some or the other pattern, right? Okay, so for example, let's talk about 10 to the power 3, right? So what is 10 to the power 3? 10 to the power 3 is 1000, right? 10 to the power 3 is what? 1000. So if you subtract 10 to the power 3 minus 560, so if you do 10 to the power 3 minus 560, then what will you get? You will get 440, right? Okay, now let's take 10 to the power 4. So what is 10 to the power 4? 10 to the power 4 is 1 and 4 times 0. So now if you subtract 10 to the power 4 minus 560, right, then what will you get? You will get 9440. If you subtract 10,000 minus 560, then you will get 9,440. I hope this should be clear. Now let's take 10 to the power 5. So if you take 10 to the power 5, so you have 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is 10 to the power 5 minus 560. How much is that? That will be equal to 99440, right? Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 560. So 10. So 044990. So 99440. I hope this should be completely fine. And let's do one more time. So if you do 10 to the power 6, that is how much? 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is 10 to the power 6 minus 540 is how much? This will be 999,440. I hope this should be completely fine. So out of all these 4 numbers that we have done till now, are you able to spot some kind of common pattern? If you see in the first one, it is 440. If you see in the second one, the 440 remains constant, a number 9 has been added. If you see the third one, the 440 remains constant, now 2 9s have been added. If you see this one, the 440 remains constant and 3 9s have been added, right? This means that if you keep on increasing, the 440 will always remain constant and the number of 9s will keep getting added, right? So for example, this is 10 to the power 6. So how many digits are these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 10 to the power 5. How many digits are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 10 to the power 4. How many digits are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. So now if I do 10 to the power 25. So now if I do 10 to the power 25 minus 560. I know how many digits will be there. There will be 25 digits, because when it was 6, there were 6 digits. When it was 5, it was 5 digits. So similarly, when it is 25, there will be 25 digits, right? And I also know that 440 remains constant. So I will write 440 over here. And I know rest all the numbers will be 9, right? As we discussed, rest all the numbers here will be 9. So I can write 9, 9, 9, 9. I hope this should be absolutely fine, right? So what I know is that all the number of digits over here will be how much? 25, because this is 25. And these are how many digits? These are 3 digits, right? So that means the number of 9s will be how many? 22. So number of 9s will be 22 times. I hope this should be clear. So this will become 999999999 22 times and then 440. Right. I hope this should be absolutely fine. Right. Now let's come to the 11 part later. Let's see the 8 part. So if we want any number to be divisible by 8, we see the last 3 digits of the number. If the last 3 digits of any number is divisible by 8, then the entire number will be divisible by 8. This is the divisibility test for the number 8, right? So if we have a number which is of 25 digits, and if we want to check if it is divisible by 8 or not, so what do we have to check? We have to only check the last 3 digits. If the last 3 digits are divisible by 8, then the whole number will automatically be divisible by 8, right? So is 440 divisible by 8? 440 divided by 8, because 440 are the last 3 digits. So 8 5s are 40 and 8 5s are 40. So it is 55. So yes, 440 is divisible by 8. That means this entire number will be divisible by 8. So this answer is absolutely correct. Right. Now let's talk about the number 5. So tell me about the number 5. In the number, if any number is divisible by 5, then the number should either end with 5 or the number should either end with 0. For example, if you see the table of 5, so you can see 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So if you see in all these numbers, the last digit is either 0 or 5. For example, it is 5, 0, 5, 0, 5, 0. So what I mean is that if you want to check whether any number is divisible by 5, you check the last number. If the last number is 0 or if the last number is 5, then the number will be divisible by 5, right? So obviously we know over here that the last number is 0. So this will be divisible by 5. So this is also absolutely correct, right? Now if we want to check the divisibility for the number 4, we check the last 2 digits. For 8, we check the last 3 digits. For number 4, if we want to check the divisibility by 4, we check the last 2 digits. If the last 2 digits are divisible by 4, that means the entire number is divisible by 4. So over here, if we see the last 2 digits, that is 40. Is 40 divisible by 4? Yes, it is divisible by 4, which gives us 10. That means the entire number will be divisible by 4. So that means it is divisible by 4 as well. Okay. Perfect. Now tell me one thing. How do we check the divisibility by 3? To check the divisibility by 3, we take the sum of all the digits and then divide it by 3. If we get an integer, it is divisible by 3. For example, if we have any number 3695 or actually 3691, for example, or you can say 918, maybe 9, anything, right? So if you add all of these numbers, you will get 27. So 27 is divisible by 3, yes, that means the number is divisible by 3. So basically, to check the divisibility by 3, we add all the digits and then we see if that sum is divisible by 3 or not. So over here, what will be the sum of digits? The sum of digits will be 0 plus 4 plus 4 plus 22 into 9. I hope this should be very clear, right? So this will be how much? 4 plus 4, 8 plus 22 into 9 is how much? 9 to the 18, 198. So this gives us 206. 206. Is 206 divisible by 3? 206 is not divisible by 3. That means this entire number is not divisible by 3. So this option is completely wrong. Okay. Right. Now let's come back to the first option, which is 11. Now we have to check whether this number is divisible by 11, right? So we know that the number 9 is getting repeated even number of times. For example, if we take this case, for example, 99440, right? So in this case, the number 9 is repeated 2 times, which is even, and 440 is constant. So if we divide this by 11, what will be the answer? The answer will be 940, right? Because 11 nines are 99, 11 fours are 44, and 0. I hope this should be absolutely fine, right? Sorry, this will be what? 9040, exactly. This will be 9040, right? So if we divide this number by 11, it will be 9040. Similarly, if we take 9999440 and we divide this by 11, even in this case, it will be divisible, because the point is that the number of nines are even. If you see, the number of nines are 4, the number of nines are 2, right? So similarly, because the number of nines are 22 in this case, so this will be divisible by 11, and obviously 440 is also divisible by 11, because 440 is 11 into 40, right? So this entire thing will be divisible by 11. I mean, that is kind of common sense. So even it will be divisible by 11 as well. So that means the answer will be 1, 2, 3, 4. I hope this should be clear.